like 10 minutes late for our partner class. We're just flowing into it right now. But it'll get these rolling right in. Yeah.
So who's going to do the relief clinic? You, Danielle, Wendy,
Yeah.
David, Dan.
There you go.
Who else? Because at new students, but I don't know at what point they'll feel comfortable like going into
Doing
that.
it.
Yeah, I have to talk to them about it.
Feel more inspirational.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody else I've worked with that would come in. I don't know. We'll see.
Next step. Are you done with that? Huh? Are you done with that? No. Right. There you go. I was like, oh, that's the translation. So on the shin, yeah, right below the knee. Depending on what you want, he wants more soft, so I rolled it more onto the muscle. But if someone wants it more bone or sharp, you can get them right onto the bone. Bring your toes towards the head will make it sharper. For Cody, though, I kind of like roll my legs, have his ox, but more on the muscular side. Marty, what do you think? Do you want a little sharper?
I could do sharp.
So I want you to take your toes, just like you're rotating your whole leg this way. This way. Mm-hmm. Like you feel that bone rotate? Does that feel better? Is that sharp enough?
Yep.
You could even say, Cody, find a spot in your neck where you like. Find a spot you like for me to press into. Good spot there? I just press where you found. Basically, my leg is a foam roller. I'm just pressing his head in. Not that hard.
Is it too much pressure?
Getting any.
So take his head, roll him a little bit that way, and roll him back this way. Which way, Marty? To the right or the left?
Or what?
What do you feel? What feels better, right or left? Okay, so grab him about right here. Okay, listen, right there? Or is it more to the other side?
What's our goal? Where are we?
You're pressing in the neck. That's what you're going to feel. Is it not?
Felt that.
Are you not feeling it?
I think his
I'm not,
head
no.
is not on.
I think he's too low on her leg.
Yeah.
So try it from there.
I moved him because his head felt.
How's that right there?
on my leg.
Right?
How's that right there?
Feeling more up.
Okay.
There you go.
And then is it too much on your leg?
No.
So long term, it's got to feel comfortable to you,
Yeah.
effective for him.
Yeah.
Sorry, I gave you
I
too
don't
much
feel
pressure. I
any
was trying to.
pain.
Why you feel pain in your low back? Okay. Now, while you're doing this, what happens if you shift and stretch while you're working on it? Does that feel better?
Yes.
There you go. You use the practice to rehabilitate your own body. Then you work effortlessly and you get told that what you teach is not massage. Nice. How's the pressure now, Marty?
It's soft.
Soft. Do you need more?
I mean, this kind of feels good.
Okay, there you go.
Um,
Because she can probably give you a little bit more, but I want to make sure it's
Yeah.
comfortable to her.
Do you do your sound baths at night? In the evening or the daytime?
It varies. This one, the one that I just got covered is
Oh, nice.
yeah. Where do you do it? Lizard yoga, sophomore, and chakra.
That also works there?
Adam DeMarco,
Yeah, I
that's
worked
my
with him.
boo.
Oh, he's so fun.
Yeah, he's so fun.
It's like, you do yoga with those nails? He's like, yes,
he
they do not get in my
does.
way.
Yes, he does.
It's funny. He was telling me about the lizard yoga place. I was like, oh, I do black water, solid core, or core power.
How's the
He's
pressure
like,
now,
you
Marty?
need to come up here. All this good stuff. I was like, oh, that's wellness.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not getting any boning.
Okay.
It's just a nice subtle stretch.
Good.
Yeah. You don't want me doing it to you.
Yeah,
You do?
sure can.
Now, the other part is you don't have to press on her head at all. Go ahead. Let's do this real quick. I'm gonna have him do the version where he's not gonna put his hands on you at all,
Okay.
and I'll just show you what it feels like. Because he's gonna use your leg. She's going to use your leg like it's a foam roller. You don't have to touch her face at all.
Okay.
Yep. Just come on, lady.
Oh, I
She
don't know.
decided she wanted to go that way.
My way.
There you go. Now, usually, instead of being down here, I'll usually want to be on this top portion, and then I'm just going to allow them to hop up and down, like wherever it feels good. Do you want to go higher on the neck or lower? There you go. Now, if you take your leg, if you roll it up, roll it down, which one does she like?
The up feels better.
Okay, so roll up, tell him when.
I can't roll it further, so
Okay.
it'll be when.
So right there, right there.
Yeah, that's good.
Now, gently press your neck down into his leg. Tuck your chin.
Go to the party.
Now roll your head side to side.
Oh,
You're the
things are
foam roll.
good,
You don't have to
yeah.
do nothing.
So you have
Nice.
You know how awesome it feels to be able to teach this to clients, and I'm like, I get paid for this? That's awesome. That's great.
Because I get right in my occiput.
There you go. And then, as long as it's comfortable to you, you just don't want her to hit. If it hits like your ulna, I'm sorry, I say ulna. If it hits your shin bone and it just feels too sharp, just let her know and she can back off a little bit. But it's supposed to feel comfortable.
all over the place, right? The demos, of course. Demos all
Can
the
you
time.
rotate your leg a little bit?
Which way, up or down?
I just want to get down a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, rotate it a little bit.
Now, do you want him to pull you a little bit side to side?
Sure.
Cool. Now you're going to add a piece. Hold on to her arm. Watch this.
Feels good.
Now, more pull or more push?
I like
Or like the little rock right there?
the rock.
There you go. You can hold on to her arm any way that feels good to you. There you go.
You do. It's more gentle.
And then the goal is to teach this to every yoga teacher in America and make massage therapists angry. They go, yoga teachers
They're
can't
like,
touch
"Don't care."
people. And I'm like, why can't people touch people? Like, they don't have a license to touch. And I'm like, there is no license to touch. Is there a touch license? I've never applied for a touch license before. So like, God forbid, people go out and use hands-on touch to help people. Oh,
You like that grip?
can't have that. There we go. Nice. Perfect. You get a certificate, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, multiple points of contact and you're communicating with her and she's smiling? Good Lord. You made it 2 hours and you still guys are still together.
Just pushing the grip.
Yeah, that feels really good.
Do you want a little more traction on the arm?
Let me see what that feels like.
So like when he pulls an arm, feels good, you want more of that?
You know where I feel that? In my low back.
Okay. Does it feel good?
Do it again.
Cool, because this is Thai massage jam. Now I'm gonna work on your low back while he works on your upper back. How's that?
Right?
Is that too much?
No.
Now, this is where people are like, what the hell is this? I'm like, it's like Burning Man hit massage school. You are the event. Congratulations. Is that too much? There you go. But it also kind of facilitates the rocking that you're doing.
I'm getting the core workout right now.
There you go. Love both.
Do you mean to try the other side? Did you want me to try this side? To see what the difference is?
Oh, that's what you showed.
And I'm going to shift it just a little bit because of my body positioning. How's that? There we go. I go, oh, hey, Cody, what's going on, man? Hey, what's over here? Oh, what's going on? Quads. Good Lord, man. What's up with this?
else coming. How many did you?
We had two
That's
couples sign up for the partner massage class, but then the jam people just show. So
Yeah,
Oh,
people
they just
show.
show.
it's
Yeah,
like
at
it's like a
first,
party. You
yeah,
never
okay.
you-
you never
the
come
vibe is
in,
determined by the people who show up.
People show up like an hour. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's all over the place. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Loose. Get margarita.
I can always use margarita.
There you go.
Remember I was saying when this was starting?
Probably has to
know
do
why.
your boom.
Is it referring down into there?
Probably from the work.
No.
It's probably just this
Yeah.
pulling down into that.
Yeah.
You guys think all that work you did today, you were doing this type of work, you know what I mean? All this new to you movement with your feet. That probably, I bet you just tightened it up and started lighting that back up on the top of your foot.
Yeah.
Foam roll it too.
I got one of those.
Yeah, foam roll on your shins like this. It's really weird, but man, it'll relieve all that weird, you know, either the pressure you feel or the pulling you feel here or here. It'll all come from.
I mean, to show Marty how to work on this.
Margarita.
So Marty, lay back on your back, and I'll just show you. Yeah, whichever. Just lay down. I'll get to it. On your back. There you go. And I'm going to work on this leg just for a second, Marty, to show you. Because what you're going to do is you're going to trick her into working on your quads. How's that? Okay. And once I get stacked, it's like, is it? What do you think? Mainly right in there, or do you think
I
a
mean,
little
I
higher?
feel that. I didn't know
Yeah.
until you put your hands on.
So I'm gonna scoot myself in because I'm the prop. I'm gonna hook my forearm and elbow right in there. Is that too much? Is that too much?
No, no.
Okay.
It's intense, but I like
And as
that.
and as I lean in, it's a little more elbow. It's a little more point. But I'm gonna shear. I'm gonna go just a little up or a little bit down.
That's intense, but
Do
it feels good.
Do you like the down a little bit better?
Do it again.
Up.
I feel it more up, I think, than I do down.
Okay. So I'm gonna go up a little bit. Now, do I pull back towards me or do I roll towards you? Right there?
Yeah.
Now, when I'm pressing right there, is that referring down into the top of your foot? No? Can you start to move your foot at the ankle? Like pull through what I'm pressing in? There you go.
No, I feel it down there.
Is it that spot? Yeah. So all I'm doing is just stacking body weight just to get my shoulder in position. And it could be a little sharper, just as long as it's comfortable. You just want to stack your shoulder above the elbow. I want you to try that just on that side, since that's the one that's bothering her. There you go. And then usually, yeah, it's not wrong to twist, but I feel like it's more comfortable for me to stack with this shoulder. There you go. And do you need like sharper or broader?
That's pretty
Yeah.
broad. It feels broad.
Do you want sharper?
Yeah, this side is tighter. Try sharper.
What's sharper?
So if you're like this, I think it's probably gonna be ulna
sharper.
right here.
This is sharper?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is all bone.
And if she wants to, if she continues to want it sharper, that's where I'd transition more to my elbow, almost went to the point right there.
So it's closer to it.
Ooh, that's
Not too much. Okay.
Do you know Randy?
That's good.
He told me. Randy. So, he's a massage therapist. That's lizard yoga, and I think it's called stage massage. He said he knows you. Randy? No?
When I hear Randy, it's always Randy Cummins, but that's when you say it was super tall, I was like somebody else. And I might know who it is, but I might have just met him in passing, and it's hard to remember names. Yeah.
Yeah, he told me. And then when I saw y'all at Black Swan, I was like, yeah. You're like, hey,
So when he's hanging out, do you like when he's shearing, shifting back and forth, or do you want him to choose and kind of shear up or shear down?
Let me see that up and down. We lost.
Oh, there's Adam in his little happy outfit.
Yeah.
Let's take care. He's so funny. He was jacked from, because he had just gotten
Where
back
is
from being out at Bali, right? He was doing his teacher training in Bali for a while.
a month.
A month.
And then he spent another week for another like 50-hour training.
So apparently before he left, his ex-boyfriend had like mowed the yard. Well, he comes back, 5 to 6 weeks later, and he goes in and has apparently a big lot and weed eats the whole thing. And it's like, and so his like arms were all jacked. And I'm like, you're weed eating your front yard? He's like, yeah, and I didn't finish. And we're like, all right, let me help you out. That is so funny.
Do you like the back and forth?
Work to your legs, girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do. I think I like the up more, but it.
Maybe not. I'm trying to see where I have to go pick up. Oh, I see where it's at. I have to pick up dinner. Do that. I'm gonna go pick up my cricket. How far away it is. But I need to get it. Hey, Princess, say hi.
Good to meet you.
Oh, damn.
There you go.
You out, man? Oh.
Dad's in town.
Where do your parents live?
They live in Cali with the Jackson.
Yeah, a little further out.
He just had a couple house.
Ooh.
Trip up.
How's he doing?
Yeah.
Well, it's the first time he's got to go see him.
Oh,
But
okay.
he's doing good. I mean, as good as you can after a quadruple heart bypass.
I mean, he's doing. It went good. He was doing really good.
Yeah.
It's just the recovery is.
Yeah.
Gosh. Well, thanks for coming.
You guys.
Be safe. Thank you, good sir. Pleasure as always.
Sushi soon.
Oh, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And we can have sashimi. It's low calorie.
Oh, he prefers sashimi.
Oh, you prefer? Okay.
I'm telling you, if you want good quality fish that's not breaking the bank, Trader Joe's has bomb.
I've never
quality.
been.
You go to Whole Foods, you'll get like one piece of tuna steak for like 35 or something.
Yeah.
Maybe 20. I bet it's 25. And you go to Trader Joe's, you get it for like 13.
Yeah. Because mostly it's like
It's
when
so
I
good.
do have sushi, it's usually like tuna, salmon, escalar. It's just a
Yeah,
couple kinds
yeah.
of fish, and yeah.
But HEB grade, no.
Mm.
Not considered. You can tell it's not the same quality. Yeah. Because we'll get it and just like sear it or whatever.
Do you need work on the opposite leg? Same thing.
I mean, that one feels fine.
You want to try the opposite side and see how it feels? I'm not volunteering you.
Well, yes, you are.
That wasn't a very positive sounding shirt.
It's also when you work on one side, you'll usually want to work the opposite just so they feel balanced. That's all. There you go. And then this leg will be underneath. Or actually, let's do it this way. Let's actually switch it so that if you're using the right leg, it means you're facing her so you can see. You could technically use either, but I think you'll do better on that leg. There you go. There you go.
You want me to start over there?
I mean, I'm not in pain right now, but I like how like this kind of just all
Okay.
complements,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
So Natalie, how do you train yoga teachers to touch students? And are yoga studios telling teachers not to touch students?
It's not saying no, not to touch.
Because I feel like in the last 10 years or so, the yoga community kind of got to this hands-off thing.
Wasn't that because of COVID?
I think COVID's been a big thing. about it.
COVID was the biggest thing because I was always adjusting in their space.
Yeah.
Now I'm not fully like adjusting. I'm more like directing and I kind of give them just little taps and stuff like that. They're laying down or there's certain poses that like I would do and stretch them out. But yeah, since COVID, I think I saw that was the hugest. Like that was the biggest.
Yeah, and I have no pulse like since COVID with the yoga community. So yeah. So if I present it to the massage community, they're like, I don't understand. This is a massage. If I present it to the yoga community, they're like, yeah, this is great, but do we need a license?
Is that what they mean?
And I go, license to do what? And they're
Right,
like,
exactly. I don't think that. No.
well, there's a packaging issue that I can't quite figure out because nobody can pigeonhole me. And I'm like, why don't we just go be individuals? And they're like, this is very weird. Like, we don't understand. Who is this for? I'm like,
Yeah.
humanity.
Right,
Probably people in
exactly.
bodies. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I think it's just
No, like, shit.
the yoga
position.
community sees adjusting and massage as separate, but it's literally the same thing.
Oh,
It's
dude,
just
I
the
I
same
watch a
thing.
Yengar,
Yeah.
and I do this constantly. I watch a Yengar and go, you old crotchety bastard. I was like, you knew it. Like, and it's like, even the development of the way he did the props, and he would, in his language, he'd say, it's awakening their intelligence. That's how he would say it in English.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's waking up their nervous system
That's what
to
he
like
did.
access an area. But he was using the props as like an additional supplement for people like me who were either inflexible in certain areas or very weak. So he could get the opening, and I learned how to do this, like kind of weaving the two disciplines, because I could work with the yoga students and get more out of them.
Yes.
Like, in other words, if I tried to get them to do cobra pose, they lower their belly and they're like, dying.
Mm,
If I put them over a foam roll and taught them breathing exercises and then let them work on opening all this first, then I'd say, now go on your
Now
belly.
do it.
And they were like, oh my God. And it's like, it would wake them up
Wake 'em up.
faster.
I
Yeah.
hear you. I hear that. Yeah. Opening up the body, then go into that's.
You get a certificate.
I hear
She communicates well. She's like, do this, do that. Yes, they're right there.
I thank you for saying that and bringing context to it, because for me as a teacher, like I feel it is important to open the body first before we dive into the asana, because if their body's not awakened or warmed up, it's like, why am I going to present this like boom, like straight into an asana when their body's not even ready to receive it? They're forcing that.
Yeah, I mean, even classical Surya Namaskar, like, unless you kind of break it down, like, well, what is it supposed to feel like? Because you'll say touch their toes and they'll be straining their lumbar spine, like, I'm going to touch my toes, whether, if, and I'm like, no, just bend your knees, bro. And they're like, what?
I'm like, why are you locking your knees, my friend? Yeah.
This is what I would do with the yoga people. It was hilarious. Because when you do what I do, I used to just have the students come into my home studio and I'd go, what are you having problems with today? There'd be like 4 or 5 students. And they're like, well, upper back. I'm like, cool, let's work on that. And I would literally it would be like a combination of Thai massage, yoga therapy.
Nice.
And then if they had problems, like we would do, we would just do like, now I'm forgetting. What is this called? Just the standing pose. Mountain pose, yeah. So I was like, what is it called? It's been so long. So I would sit there and like, I would walk them through like a Yengar's kind of alignment, like where are their knees, where are their hips, where are the shoulders, and walk them through this. And I'm like, pay attention to your like connection to the ground, like in your feet.
Yeah.
Now like lift your toes and spread your toes out, little stuff like that. But to reiterate it, I would have them get a tennis ball and like massage the bottoms of their feet. And they would do this for 3 or 4 minutes, and I just have them do 1 foot, and I'm like, okay, now go back into mountain pose, and they're like, oh my God.
That's dope. Yeah.
But the thing is, it increases their awareness more rapidly, so that the assist is easier, if that makes sense. Like once they understand it, like they felt it, you don't have to keep reminding them again and again. They'll almost go right back into it next time.
I hear
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
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 My community.
So you're trying to go do the same thing?
I hear.
So on your side, because you're over here, you're gonna have your
No.
right leg bent. It's gonna be on top of your thigh. So I'm going to mirror you. So it's going to be opposite leg on my side, but I'm like this. There you go. And then you're going to move that right underneath his calf. And you'll know you're in the right spot because you're going to work on your quad now. How's that? Too much? Cool. Too much? Cool. Now, tibialis anterior. Yep. I was like, I forgot mountain pose. Not only do I not know it in Sanskrit, I don't know it in English. I just call it standing. It's like, is it important that you know the name of the pose or you know how to do it? Ooh, brutal. It's like, where's the, like, I'll do this because I teach, right? And they're like, tell me the origin, and they're searching the bicep. I'm like, it's kind of like up here and over here. Like, I just go look it up on Google. But I can work on your bicep.
Yeah. That's so annoying.
The 6:30 pass, and I got a 6:29. The second time I was like, okay, I think I need to brush up more on those. There was not one origin and
Stop.
second time.
Oh wow.
But I passed.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was so nervous about that when I was taking just my licensing test. But like, I was getting my, well, I just become a bartender, so I was like, oh, I'll just do this. And 5 years passed, and I was like, why am I doing this? This brings me no joy. But I was having testing anxiety, so I never took my test. But luckily, I never applied, so I didn't have to do anything. I was able to just like go in and apply for my test 5 years later. I did go back to school and just do anatomy and physiology just to make sure I wasn't wasting my time or money going and taking the test.
Yeah.
But I go take the test. I'm like, there was like no origin insertion, like maybe 3 questions. And I'm like, that was literally the thing that was
That's
giving
what I
me worse
focused on.
testing anxiety.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even on there. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? 5 years I wasted getting people drunk when I could be like making people feel good.
There was some weird questions on that national certification thing. It was, what's the legal size of a treatment room?
Huh,
I
why
remember
does this
that
matter?
question specifically.
Right?
And then I called TDLR and I'm like, hey, I'm just curious because I've got 5 treatment rooms and I want to make sure all my treatment rooms are legal size. I still haven't heard back, and I probably called 5 or 6 times to
That
ask.
was on the nationals.
It was on the national
I
certification.
wrote TDLR to ask them a very
They don't
specific
have a
question. And they said in an email response that it is not our job to interpret state law. And I wanted to go, I'm going to email you back and go, how do you enforce laws that you don't understand? I'm like, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. This was a very simple question. Like, I have some question about this. And they're like, it's not up to us to, to interpret state law. And I'm like, ugh.
Seems like should be.
Uh-huh.
There was other ones too, but nobody had any answers because I was like, oh, I'm going to remember that question so I can ask them. But I never.
I'm sure Massage Harmony was like just at that legal size. Those rooms are freaking tiny. It's the only place I've ever worked for someone.
And probably the reason why that's on the nationals test is they have some sort of rules because of human trafficking issues or something in relation to the size of a treatment room.
Shoving people in little closets and fun in
I
treatment rooms.
had a conversation with a woman
You know what I
yesterday
mean?
who's from Nigeria, and she basically wants to franchise, Kristen.
Uh-huh.
She wants to next level pain relief
Oh.
franchise. And as I was talking to her, you could tell she went, well, can't we have like curtains so there's some privacy? And I go, privacy is the problem. And she went, what? I go, think of it less like massage and more like yoga. Yoga's done publicly. Stretching and Stretch Lab and Stretch Zone
Public one room.
is done publicly.
Pressure.
Why does it have to be private?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, some people want privacy. And I'm like, yeah, and I don't work on those people.
Yeah.
I have
actually
a
that-
stretch girl at my office.
Yeah.
Um,
And
But
is
she's
she a
not-
therapist or?
No.
Okay, you just hired her just to do stretch.
She used to work at Stretch Lab, but
Yeah.
she left because things got real. They sold the Westlake location.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of changed and
Yeah.
didn't make any sense. So she's in my office.
Well,
But she's behind closed doors. Is she not supposed to be?
No, you can
no,
be.
it's just a preference that I have, and
Oh,
the
okay,
deal
okay.
is, the reason I kept being told that what I do is not massage is primarily four things in Western culture: table, cream, glide, and nudity. I took away the table, took away the cream, took away the glide, took away the nudity, and they said, this is not massage. And I said, congratulations, we don't need licenses in all 50 states. And they went, what? And I'm like, well, you just said it's not massage. If it's not massage, we don't need licenses. Thank you, congratulations.
2 4 hours or like
The issue is,
2
we're all working publicly.
sessions.
Now, other than the Tejano blasting,
Oh yeah.
everybody was
It's
fine.
quiet now. They must be eating.
But when people think in terms of marketing massage, it's always separate rooms.
Yeah.
What it does is, by keeping people's clothes on, you can do it publicly, other people can see it, and it removes all sexual impropriety.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you really have to leave early? You sure? 'Cause we're like, done all his legs, done part of his shoulder.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'd stay a little longer. I'm like, okay, cool. We end up working all the way.
Is that better now?
I'm like, no, it's
Good.
6:30, you know?
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, I'm sorry I kept you so late, but like, you gotta
It's just when I was talking to her, like she was asking about square footage, and I'm like, listen, it's one big room. You can run yoga classes out of it after hours. You can run acro yoga classes in it after hours. You can run dance classes in it after hours. It's like you can multiply revenue streams because you don't have all these little private rooms, and you can wire the entire thing to film everything and use it for social media. And she was like,
2 to 3 clients a day. Typically.
what?
I feel like it's more exhausting to do hours, you know?
That's
And with this
exactly
style
right.
of work, an hour is just,
That's not that.
yeah. it's
So
nothing. We're barely
the,
starting.
the hope is we set up the relief clinic here,
Really?
and our session, are you ready? Our,
We've already started
our
setting up the
teaser
session.
session, it's an hour.
It's an hour.
Our teaser session is as long as Massage Envy's standard massage.
Wow.
And we go, yeah, we're going to give you this hour for a discount. It's like $50.
Yeah.
And they go, a full session is 3 goddamn hours? And we go, yes. And they go, massage therapists go, people won't pay for that. And I'm like,
What's your business called?
I don't find that to be the case. Yeah.
Spalala.
Spalala.
That's cute.
That is cute.
Say it again.
And you're like Lakeway? Westlake?
Westlake, yeah.
Westlake.
Not Lakeway. More
Lakeway's
like,
gonna be like on the other side of the lake, right?
yeah. So you know where Sway is on Bee Caves? I'm in that shitty center next door. That's Bee Cave Center. But like my space is cute because I
Yeah.
renovated it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like an old building there.
Yeah.
But it's good. Westlake's
It's good.
Westlake's good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it is. Session hasn't hit over there yet. Yeah.
And I was saying that because July is usually my slowest month, and I've
It
actually had my busiest month.
Wow.
For you, girl.
Congrats.
So far.
Congrats.
Sounds like they're making money during this time.
All right. Yeah.
But everyone's traveling, so like all my
It's true.
members have all paused.
Oh yeah.
So you want to have this space? You want to rent this?
So what we're doing right now is Dan has let us run the jam like post-COVID to like get back and started. And we're starting to install suspension so that we can run the relief clinic out of this facility. And all it is like eventually, hopefully, I will be running ads to jam I will try to take students and jam people into their practices so that they can get clients. But it's like not having a brick and mortar is like a weird thing for massage therapists because they can't conceptualize what I'm discussing until they see it. Once I film everybody doing this, everybody's going to fucking lose their minds. They're going to be like, oh my God, I want to do that. And I'm like, cool. Do you want to get certified? Oh, you mean I have to train? I'm like, yes, you actually have to train to learn to use suspension so you can work on people at our relief clinic, and I will help get you clients to build your practice. And then it'll lather, rinse, repeat.
Snowball.
And then
Well, thank you
once
for
they
coming,
think they
guys.
understand, then you run my version of a yoga therapy class, and then we confuse all of them all over again. Because I go, cool, no, so one therapist working on 8 people, and they're like, how? I'm like, watch.
Oh, your socks are by my water jug.
I rolled them up. I don't know where they went.
Oh, our joke is keeping them coming.
So I will email you guys a link
Oh, yeah.
to the recording, and then if there's any issues, I'll let you know. And then we'll do these again. I'm not sure what we'll do next time. I'll just have to think about it and see what people are interested in. We may just like cycle through topics over time.
I need to get a massage soon too.
Yeah, girl, come on with it.
Do you book online or you just?
Yeah, but you can text me too. Yeah, I have Vagero that I use.
Oh, okay.
You just do vagero.com/massage by Kristen, but just shoot me a text. Sure.
See, I'm also looking into scheduling platforms, so I'm like, okay, there's Calendly, and
What tools do you need? Do you need like intake forms or?
Where you guys at?
more like
Shoreline
just which
Church, pretty much?
what digital platform would I need, just to schedule time.
Where you guys at?
So Full Slate is amazingly simple,
Full slate.
but it's old school. It's what I still use, and it's not very fancy. It doesn't have a lot of bells and whistles, but it gets the job done.
Okay.
Is there a reason you're not using something like just Google Calendar?
Oh, I didn't even think about Google Calendar because I'm just like I'm kind of just like watching other.
But then you couldn't keep
I-
notes and you couldn't do marketing emails,
Oh.
right?
Okay, so see, I'm looking at.
Unless you have like your Google. Bye guys, rest
So-
day.
That's kind of
Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll come do some sound healing with you.
Please
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I would love to have you.
We go to the one that practiced us.
Ah, practice yoga, yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
We went once.
Sundays at 4. Lizard yoga.
Sundays at 4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday?
Every Sunday. Yeah.
Just not today.
There's another person doing it. Yes.
It's happening.
It's still
It's
happening. It's not me.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
So the question is why you wouldn't just have a separate email list.
You could just have a separate email for.
But
your
it
business and
depends
have
on the
Google.
functionality you need, which is why I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What all things do you want out of your?
I want it to just all be in one platform to make it easy. I know, right?
Sorry,
That's
that's
pretty-
what
pretty
Kristen
good,
wants
pretty
too, and it's
easy.
like Kristen
You pay more
constantly
money for that.
That's
is
the
like,
thing.
I want all in one. I want all in
But-
one. I'm like,
but the
there is
thing
no
is
all in
that-
one.
With like say if we're speaking about Vagero, right? You
Yeah.
can be basic and you can get just like I think it's like $35 a month to be able to have your subscription or like, to have your membership for them to book and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Then I upgrade because I do like online forums, just like $10 a month, right? Because I
Yeah.
love that. That's a way to get the creepers out, and it saves time so that when people come in, all that stuff's already done.
Exactly.
Then you
Yeah,
can.
agree
I mean,
with that.
with the one that I have, I mean, I'm paying like $130, but I have like the top email and text, so I can email and text market all my clients. It
Oh.
keeps track of all of them. I can see all the. stats
But
of
they're
my
not
stuff.
able to respond to her via text.
No, they cannot.
So it's not actually text message marketing. It's only halfway.
Yeah. But I can host classes and sell classes. I can sell gift cards. All that stuff is all paid for. You could sell things. Yeah, all of it is through for like $135. That takes care of all that stuff. The online forums, the selling things, the higher text and email. Yeah,
All right.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can do with it. Yeah, pretty fancy schmancy.
Yeah.
I mean, they have lots of other features, but that's all I fucking use.
And how, as far as you said that you want to set up the trainings, how is that gonna look like? Is it gonna be like in blocks, or how what do you envision?
What for here?
Mm-hmm.
So there's some complexity that I have not yet figured out because the upper edges is not like posting to my email list or social media and getting people to take a spot. The challenge would be you're almost using software in a way that's intended for a spa, not me personally. So she wants all in one, right? Now run a Facebook ad for it. Now what? Because you have to run an ad on Facebook. Somebody sees something in their feed, they click on it,
It
they
links
figure
to
out,
your
I don't have
whatever, I don't
Vagero.
know. I'm just saying, I don't know.
And the challenge is the money is going to them, not me. So I need to be able to figure, because I can't market to 5 different students. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah,
we'll,
he's trying-
we'll,
yeah.
we'll figure it out in time, but this is what I was saying to you. I got
Yeah.
so frustrated at your text message the other day.
Oh, you should get that.
You don't want to know how the sausage is made. No, you don't. You want to talk about it? I got 5 hours.
Talk about it.
Do you want to know how all the software
Now I'm
connects?
like,
Do you know how all the software connects?
no. I mean, I know some of it, but I don't know all of it.
But
It's mind
but this is the
when he
thing.
starts to
It
break
ma-
it down how all the
It makes
websites
people
and the shops-
upset if I go into Wendy. She gets upset when I go into details because she doesn't understand all the stuff that has to happen in the background just to make Relief Clinic. Well, they just sign up, and I'm like, cool. Do I send them to 5 separate websites to sign up? Yeah. And probably what I will do, at least in the beginning, is if I got to the point of a Facebook ad, I would probably be talking to people in Messenger and go, listen, choose your therapist. Doop. Okay, cool. Now, which spot do you want for Kristen? Cool. Okay, I'm going to mark you down for that time slot. When you come, you're going to pay Kristen directly.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
I'll have to figure that out. But the thing, what I don't do, this is me, I cause a lot of problems because I want to get it done before you make it perfect. If you wait to like make sure it's all structured, this is why the text message, if you wait till it's like structured and perfect, you'll never get anything done. And there's always like, if you're not careful, I mean, you want to have a general idea and not cause major problems. But if you go too far, you actually sort of like make mental problems that aren't a problem. Like you start trying to solve stuff that hadn't
Getting
even
too far
happened
ahead.
yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you.
And then on top of it, add something like a coupon code.
Right.
Coupon
And then you're
code.
like, wait. You mean you expect people to put, I mean, no. Like I'd have to play with Shopify, which is how I sell stuff, and then go, no. The coupon code has to be included because if I make them put it in, I'll get a million messages like, I can't get in, the coupon code won't let, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's like
The
you're doing
opposites
tech
are alive,
support,
unfortunately.
tech support.
It's like technology's made us so stupid as humans. You know, it's like it's made things so easy that our brains like don't have to fire at all cylinders. Now we're just like, whoa.
Right.
I'm like, I don't even know how to log in, Robert. He's like, are you retarded? I'm like, sometimes.
Well,
He's
and,
never asked that, but-
the other thing is like I understand the notion of user friendly.
Yeah.
The challenge is the students don't understand what I've connected. I have a teachable school which hosts over 1,000 hours of footage. They want to log in on my website. I'm like, Teachable's not my website. And they're like, I don't understand. Why is it not on your website? And I'm like, because I don't have software that does what Teachable does on my website. Well, I want it all in one. And I'm like, I need $1,000 a month per student.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I can't like,
Yeah.
there's certain
So expensive,
limitations.
too.
Yeah.
That's
So it's just like this. I'm doing this, and to give you an idea, Teachable has a certain size on file limit to upload it inside Teachable. What I have to do is I have to take this 4-hour file, upload it to YouTube, and then take the embed code and put it inside Teachable.
oh my god.
And once you start, now add 20 more layers to that. And the student's like, my coupon code won't work. And I'm like, fuck. God damn it. It's like, this is what I always want to be involved in with software.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the end, I always just try to make it as easy as possible. Like, but some of the complexity is when it's done well, it's like remarkably fast. Like once it's streamlined, you don't even notice it. But when it's not and it's kind of janky, it's just like, it makes people, you have a drop off. That's like, you can have a Shopify store, but do you have a landing page? Because the landing page is basically a sales funnel. And if it's structured correctly, it kind of walks them through giving them some information so that they just slide downhill and go, yeah, I want to buy this. But if you just go, here's a product, do they buy? And that complexity is like you can continue to break it down, but it's like my business, frankly, offers too many products and services to too many different groups, and nobody can figure out what the hell is going on.
Very
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
It is very hard, but it's very complex. I'm like, I've been working with you for 5 years and I still get lost.
Well, Jennifer told me the other day that she doesn't log into the vault because, and she teaches. She's like, Robert, it was confusing at like 50 hours. It's at 1,000. Like I
There's
can't.
no way around it. I
Yeah.
mean, it just takes some patience. Don't go in there hangry.
Well, are you ready? Now, this is the next piece. Teachable as a platform does allow this. You can put in custom code. You can make custom HTML that does various things. And here's what I'm going to have. I'm going to have a map. Like when you log into my video vault, there will be a map of the human body.
Okay.
And the therapist, we're going to shoot these soon, by the way.
Yes.
Dylan's working on the code. I'm going to do deltoids and quads.
Nice.
Nice.
So when they click on the shoulder,
Yeah.
it'll have like another breakdown, and it'll say like, is it front of shoulder pain or side of shoulder pain or whatever. After they go to that third layer, it'll be deltoids. Once they get the deltoids, they literally can mouse over and it'll light up. So they know what they're clicking on, and then it's going to show them a technique for table, mat, suspension, self-care just for the deltoids. But I have to hire someone to custom craft HTML code and put that inside the vault because the students can't find what they're looking for. Because what do they want me to do? To break down every muscle in the human body and show them how to work on it. And then they'll say, this is really long. This is so, it's so long. And I go, yeah, I wrote 700 pages of sequence manuals and 9 DVDs to get started. Did y'all read any of that? No. Did you watch any of the DVDs? No, it's too long. And I go,
Just fast forward sometimes.
click on a button and work on a muscle.
There you
Oh my God, this is amazing. This is and that
Sure.
that
You have
customer
so
service.
much- yes, you have so much like. You're like, this is the feedback that I am receiving.
Oh, dude, it makes me lose my mind. It's like
my
it's just
God.
hard to explain the complexity because I want to make it simple, but you're specifically talking about software at this
Yeah.
point. I'm a small business owner.
Yeah.
I am custom crafting HTML code, getting text messages from her because she doesn't understand her done for you social media package. And I'm over here sweating my ass off installing boards so we can set up suspension in this room. I'm like, dude, would you guys just give me a second? Like the shit doesn't just wind up happening, you know. It's like if there was,
These are gonna be these are the boards.
yeah, that's where it's going to be installed on the walls. It'll be from this side to this side eventually.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's just crazy because the students just want what they want, which is fine.
right.
I want it to be user friendly. And I go,
Yes.
cool. And here's what they do. They have a $7 subscription to my vault. They go to YouTube. Why do they go to YouTube? Because they can type in shoulder on my page and it'll show a shoulder video. Because they want it to be indexed. And the only way I can do it is to make new curriculum out of the body map and then go through that. To be like, click on the deltoid. Oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. And I'm like, cool. Do you have any idea how much time or money I'm going to have to pay to get somebody to make HTML code so it's easy for you?
Right.
Oof. Yeef. Now, if you make an arm sequence, they go, oh, but this is so long. How do I work? I just want to work on the arm. I'm like, yes, that's the arm sequence. And they're like, oh. Because they'll go back and they'll click on a certain muscle and just say, I want to work on that one muscle. That's it. And making it user-friendly or as user-friendly as possible is beneficial. But it was like Iyengar, like most yoga classes, are they teaching vinyasa? Big, long, flowing sequences.
Right.
Why don't they break it down by pose the way Iyengar did? Because the Iyengar, they didn't really do yoga in the class. They just like broke down a pose and said, now go home and do it yourself.
Exactly.
And I'm like, ooh, Americans don't like that. That would never fly. They'd be like, fuck this. I came in here to do like this big, long, flowing sequence.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Want I could work on you.
Sure, I'll lay down and let you work on me.
So I'm on like a diet thing where like I eat at certain times, I get starving if I don't eat on time.
No, yeah, do your thing.
I was like, I'm gonna run away real quick.
So yeah, when I hear the word user-friendly, I'm like, oh God. I have no idea how much work user-friendly is. Friendly for the users. Oh. I'm like, this is long. And I go, yes, the path of mastery may take a lifetime.
Well, I'm happy fucking Cody came through. So Cody, like, we were on his party bar yesterday. It was like a smaller one. and it actually had areas you jump off of, which is I'd never seen that. But this had jumping platforms. Well, Cody was doing like front dives, and I saw his legs keep going, and so it was like everything like QL and like, I mean, everything just got kind of like tweaked from his feet going over his body. Even though
That
he
traction
can't.
down felt great. That
was weird.
like pulls up in my neck.
So I was like kind of working on it at home, so I was kind of late today. And I was like, all right, well, I gotta go, man. And then we got here, and the other couple didn't show, and I was like, I think it'd be helpful if you were here so I could work on you while they're working so they can see what we're doing, you know?
Yeah.
So he got some work. He's like, dude, he just texted me, he says, my back feels so much better. I bet.
Good.
You've been together 5 years, and you rarely ever work on him. I was like, oh, I heard you work on me, and now I'm time to work on him. He's like, no, fine, it's okay. I'm like, let me work on you.
Right. Yeah, I practice on my partner. He's like, he always cracks up, and he's like, "What are you doing to me?" He's like,
You're
"This
welcome.
is awesome."
I had somebody on the phone for the partner massage class because they messaged me and said, "Hey, I'm trying to sign up for the class, but it's not letting me." And I called them, pulled up the website. I was like, what is it doing? It's like, it's asking for my address and some stuff. And I was like, I think it was mistakenly marked as like a physical good. Like it's asking for shipping information. And I looked, and there was a button, and I clicked it, and then I told Coralie, I was like, do it again. And she's like, I don't understand. Why would it not do? I'm like, I'm in my dashboard. I just changed it. Now try it again. And then while I was on the phone, she's like, oh, it went through. And I'm like, there we go. But that one button, that's a problem. That's a problem with user friendly. Now, extrapolate that over 100 different products. It's like, Kristen will talk about like email, and I'm like, yeah, Kristen, you know, there's like 5,000 or 6,000 people on my email list, right? It's like, imagine you send out an email and you get an email back that's like, would you take me off of this list? I did not sign up for this crash.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I'm assuming somehow you did, because I'm not buying email.
Where you practice out of when you practice massage and bodywork? Like bodywork.
On my own. I go to their house. I go to their house. They come to my house. We
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, me too. I never wanted to. I mean, I did for the first 10 months work for someone, but that was never my plan.
Yeah, me neither.
You worked for the man, Derek Amorico.
Yeah, I did.
And I don't mean the man in a bad way. I meant the man.
Complex when someone's dead.
I wish he was. I wish he was back so you could just do a little more coke.
Piece of shit, his wife.
But it's like, but here's the thing. He's a small business owner. I'm like, he paid on time.
Really, not in the end. He didn't. In the end, he screwed a bunch of
Well,
people over.
I didn't work for him like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end, it was bad. I wasn't there, but he was trying to, like, he was going under. He sold a bunch of gift certificate packages. My dad didn't get a new package, but he lost his package, and then he went under and just took everyone's money, and then didn't pay the
Well,
therapist.
technically they froze his accounts, so.
But he didn't pay therapists.
Well, with what? They froze his accounts.
Yeah, he's a hot mess. Thank God I left him. Thank God he fired me before then.
Yeah, therapists were super mad.
Yeah, everyone was mad. It was a weird time, like anyone that went there, bunch, thousands of dollars into their bodywork plan, and they were just gone.
Whoa.
Some people did get their money back, but some couldn't.
Yeah, I never understood if he like declared bankruptcy or what he did. Yeah. Yes.
But you know what?
I've been
As much
around.
as I say bad things about him, if he had been a good, like say he had been a good boss, I wouldn't be here today, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gone on my own. I wouldn't have done my own shit. But also, if I hadn't been there, I would have never met Robert.
Right.
So my lead at that job.
It was awesome because we finally had a local place that was allowing Thai massage.
He did.
Yeah.
And now, as a type therapist, I do appreciate what he did for that. He didn't shut shit down like all the other businesses do. He allowed it. He encouraged it, honestly. Yeah. It's weird there's no actual people here today. You're not
Nah,
African?
they might show a little bit later. Usually it's like Dow and then John and then like a gaggle of others, but it's still once a month and like slow to build. So I didn't post a lot of the acro groups this time.
So
No.
then it's once you're sticking with once a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Once a month for the type.
Unless she takes over and decides to do it more often, but I suspect that once we get the relief clinic up, everybody's going to want to do that. They're not as interested in the jam.
That's gonna be fun.
Mm-hmm. Is that this week? No, it's not. Jennifer and all that stuff's next week, right? Not this coming week.
I don't know. I don't have my phone. I think it's this week. I think.
Oh, you're right. 19th. Oh yeah.
Because we got a full day.
You do not have to feed me if I'm doing.
That's the next thing I was going to ask
I
you.
know.
Yeah.
I wish you could feed me. But my trainer's being a biatch. He wants me to like lose weight quickly. How dare you?
How dare he?
I was like, can I have some tequila like on ice? He's like, no.
No.
He's like, you want to take one step forward and two steps back, have your tequila on ice. I was like, damn it, okay. Sober.
Okay. Hey.
Now I'm going completely sober, like for the first time since I was like 15.
How's that feeling for you?
I accidentally smoked today. I was like, damn it, I was supposed to be sober. Stop it, habits. I was like, dude, because my diet's like, I'm not gonna have a bad diet. I do not smoke pot. You know what I mean? Smoke the wrong strain, get the munchies, and I'm like,
Nah,
hard enough.
that's the
I
weird
know
thing
I'm
about
not.
me. Like, dude, I could take like I could fast and do like huge quantities of cannabis. Like it was like some sadhu on the river, man. I was like, I don't know why it just doesn't do that to me. It will give me the munchies if I'm eating, but it doesn't like seem to bother me more.
Certain strains kill me. Oh, I'm bad yesterday. I didn't like. I wasn't even honest about it. So this whole sheet to communicate.
Yeah.
Did you cheat? I just put yes.
Uh,
I was on my yes.
Did I? I did.
Some chunks of watermelon. I was like, I'm not gonna tell you what I did yesterday. I made sugar-free jello and ate it all. Out of control. Straight cancer. Cody goes, you know they have a new research that shows that aspartame causes cancer. It's like, duh. We know it causes cancer. We've all been in denial. But anyone that knows anything knows that shit causes cancer.
My goodness. And
Right.
how much is it in?
Right?
Almost everything.
I'm like, babe, if you're worried about anything, worry about your food dyes. Just get away from that. He does Gatorade. and all
People,
this crap.
yeah,
I'm like,
people
"No."
eat so much processed
Yeah,
stuff.
that's
Like
the
I cook
thing.
from scratch, so it's always surprising to me if I look in people's pantries and see like what they're eating.
When you like 4 o'clock and grab clock when it's 7 o'clock, it's time to eat. Like literally, my body like knows
That's
it's
great.
time right now.
That's great.
So I was supposed to eat at 4, but I ate my first meal late or my second meal late. So I was like, oh, I think 5. Boom, 5 o'clock. My stomach's like, better eat. Like, oh yeah, it's time.
Yeah, and all that up at the top of my neck is like, ugh.
This weekend is that class I want to take.
What class?
I want to go. I think it's this weekend. It's call it. Basically, I want to go refresh my anatomy. body, like we'll go with like the actual human body, one of those classes where they go to the anatomy, see the muscles.
A cadaver?
Cadaver class. I haven't been. I haven't seen. I haven't. You know, I don't think I've been in a cadaver class for a long time. I went to one a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a long, it's like over 10 years for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been since I was in massage school that I saw a cadaver, and I'm like, I would really just like to refresh, see that stuff, go through a cadaver class, and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Without making mistakes. And that would be. I have to renew by September. I have to get my CEUs.
Okay.
Robert, what do you do for your CEUs?
Mm-hmm.
Usually classes with Walt Fritz,
Smart.
but it's only 12 hours every 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple classes of Brandy Cummins here and there as well, so.
Oh, I forgot I do have a class for Randy, so I do have some CEUs already.
You know, I can just give you a certificate, right?
I mean, we train weekly.
That's
I
awesome.
literally train with them all the time.
Yeah, that's. There you go.
Yeah, all the stuff we do counts as training, so.
But I want to take this class not for class for anatomy. The girls that the princess were supposed to come today, but she forgot she had a oh, Robert, I'll send you a photo. I completely did my massage room already.
You already did what?
Took all that shit out of my room.
Oh. Why, redecorate? Ah.
I had my French in the morning.
How was that?
Good.
Cool.
That's great. You get a certificate.
Is there anything you want to learn or feel or? It's very private. Hi, Jam today.
Right. Any rotation to the torso in seated position.
Why do you want to twist them while they're in seated position?
I find it for myself like to bring awareness into the lower torso moving so that the stability from that space then opens up more in the chest, shoulder blades, pec area. There's like multiple things that can open, right? Because I've seen like where they put their hands and then clasp and then they start rotating them. You can do some circles.
So I use seated the least of any position in like Thai massage because Westerners can't sit comfortably. And I transitioned into using massive amounts of side lying to be able to twist them and mobilize to like remove the discomfort of like them, you know, being seated for very long.
Okay, so sideline. All right.
Well, and then, but it also depends like on how you're using it. Because if you're using it in like your yoga classes, there's probably more options for seated stuff in that context.
Yeah.
It's just that like if you think of it as a massage client, they don't really want to work while they're receiving.
Mm-hmm.
And then Thais are like, you know, they have totally different like hip mobility because they're used to the stuff. Sit right here. My hands are coming apart. And I'll give you some I guess, more simple versions of twists, and we'll
Okay.
talk about that as we go. And then put this hand behind your head. There you go. So instead of making it overly complicated, I'm just going to come in and give you like a simple twist just on one side. And then I'm just trying to see like range of motion wise. As you twist open, do you want more than that?
I already kind of feel.
Where do you feel that mainly? More pec?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for the twist, for you, for instance, I can continue to give you more twist. Do you want more twist, but not in the pec? Because does that get more into the back?
Yes.
Yeah. And the thing is, which one do you prefer?
With the arm down.
The arm down. Okay. So and this is the thing. Like there's so many different ways to mobilize somebody. So I'm going to come just a little bit behind you. Go. How's this?
Yes.
Okay. Now you like that. Give me your other arm. Big in breath. And exhale. Okay. Now I'm going to put this shoulder down. How's this? Big in breath. And exhale.
Better. Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah.
So this was the isolation.
Yes.
The other part is, and there's nothing wrong with it, but it's slightly different. And
Okay.
I have a tendency to do this, one, because I'm a male therapist and
Yes.
there's cultural context. How would a woman who I do not know feel if I come up and go, oh, okay, we're going to twist you now, right?
Right.
Because I mean, it's still a
All up in
twist.
all up in
Well,
my
the
space.
thing is, there's nothing inappropriate about it, but
No.
it's like contextually, it's a little more challenging. And then, do you want me to just do the same thing to the opposite
Yes,
side?
please.
Because you liked it less with the pec and pec minor with the arm back. Yeah. I've also seen Thais, they're doing chiropractic adjustments, putting people's arms in those positions.
Yes.
They're like
I saw that.
ricking and rock. Yeah.
Okay.
And like that is a verboten issue in the American marketplace. You don't adjust people. So now, however, if you manipulate soft tissue and people have a spontaneous cavitation, that's just a bonus.
That's absolutely. You're like, oh, okay,
And then I'll actually try the other side on this one as well, just to see like how you respond to this. So hand behind your head. There you go. And I'll just give you some like rotation. The other part is there will be people that you do this to that you just do this simple version and they're like, no more than that. And I go, cool. So no more twist than that, or do you want more?
that's good.
Okay. So I'm gonna hold you right here, but once I've got you right here, now what? What if I give you some to the side? Now, the way that they would usually solve that problem.
Yeah, 'cause I feel like I'm gonna topple over. So.
How's
Yeah.
this?
Oh yes.
Now it's a partial twist, right? It's a partial twist, but do you see how like enwrapped our bodies become? I don't have as much of an issue with it, but it's like contextually, it just like if somebody takes that, it's like, do you know about Rodney Yee? The fiasco with Rodney Yee from years ago? Rodney Yee was this totally sexy yoga teacher, Asian guy, and he had an affair with one of his students, and then it was like this big fiasco, and teacher like taking advantage of students, and all this stuff, and it was like Rodney Yee would be teaching in a class, and he'd just have nothing but like a pair of trunks on, just totally sexy, going around giving all these crazy hands-on adjusts, and I was like, Rodney, I can't do that. Like that's not gonna fly, So let me see just this arm. There we go. And then I'm gonna change my position just a little bit because I want some on this foot right here. I want to be able to just get a little isolation. And then for this guy, if you have you back here, big in breath for me, and exhale. Do you like when I roll you over towards me or when I bring you upright?
Both.
Both. They're different, right?
Yes.
Okay. You ready?
Ready.
Big in breath and exhale. And then they go, I don't understand. When did you teach that? And I'm like, oh, no, that's not in the seated sequence in the workbook. We'll teach that later once you understand the basics. And they're like, aw, damn it. So what do you think you need? Is it more lumbar or is it
Yes,
still
lumbar?
lumbar?
Yes.
Okay. So with the lumbar twist,
Uh-huh.
then we have options. Would
Yes.
you prefer, for the twist that you feel, do you want me to work like gluteals and hips,
Yes.
or is it more like psoas, like back bending, forward bending, back bending? Okay, so and here's how I would do it. Let's put you in sideline.
Okay.
Let's have you lay on your side. And I'll probably give you a second blanket, but we'll see how this is. Just to see. Yeah, there you go. Lift your head for me. Is that too high or too low?
That's good.
Kind of at neutral?
Neutral.
There you go. And then I'm going to take these and give you something to roll your legs up so your hips are supported.
Are you recording this?
Oh, no. Have I been recording this whole thing? No, absolutely not. I would never have 4 cameras set up running simultaneously.
No, right? I'm like, yeah.
So as you're here, now we're going to see, because here's where the sweet spot is. If
Yeah.
the person has problems with their low back, I can isolate at the sacrum. And what happens is the twist will go from here down, because this is isolated. And I go, listen, do you want more opening through the chest, or do you want me to keep going and almost gets to like the lumbar spine? Or do you like all of it?
All of it.
Okay. Now, if I get my foot just above the iliac crest, like along your paraspinals,
Yes.
do you want more down here?
This feels great.
Okay. So I'm going to give you some pressure right there. How's that?
That's great.
Big in breath for me. And exhale. Is that where you want the twist? Now I'm taking advantage of the fact that you're slidey and it's
I
like
know, right?
doesn't matter. So from there, are you looking for a deeper twist, like all the way down through the SI joint and the leg?
Let's see.
Okay. And do you need more pressure than that? How's that?
Yes. So I feel like this whole like extension.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Grab hold. Big in breath. And exhale. Now, to the back or to the front?
Both. Yeah, that was dope.
Now, big twist, right? Because I
Right.
mean, it's pretty much your full spine,
Yes.
but you can sometimes like shift it to give them focus in like a different part. Once you're in this position, this is where I tend to give them just a little bit of back bend to see how they respond to this. Okay, how's that in the lumbar spine? Right there. Okay. Now, do you want your leg down more towards the mat or up towards the ceiling? Tell me when. Okay. Now, what happens if I give you a little bit more right there? Too much?
No.
Is it less so than this?
That's more. Oh,
You like that
right
better?
there, yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna hold you right there. Is that too much? What if I give you some rock? Is that too much? All right. Now give me this arm. State of holy shit has been declared, as opposed to the state of oh shit. Holy shit has a sacred nature and tone to it. Now, I'll give you a break for just a second,
That was like
but it's for you, it's mainly in the low back.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to give you just a second and give you like a second version where we could give a little more nuance and go a little bit more deeply. How's this through the gluteals? Just to soften you up for a second. There you go. It's amazingly versatile. The challenge is like figuring out how to put it together for basically for Westerners.
Correct.
That's been the whole challenge for years, is like, how do you take the tradition as it was passed on to me and go, now let's go. Right there?
Yep.
Or more towards the tailbone?
Up.
Up. More towards like gluteus medius?
Yes.
Right there?
Oh,
Right there?
yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Kristen loves that so is stretch as well. I do like a crazy version of that on her. She loves that. So this is the same basic concept as just using like a different part of my body. So when I come in, I can go higher or lower, and we'll just try it out as we go. So right here, or more. In other words, if I come up higher, you get the rotation's going to change a little bit. How's that? More than that or good?
Left good.
Okay. So if I hold you right there, what about some bounce? More down? Okay. Tell me when. Okay. Right there. Now reach this arm back. Now, upper or lower? Or both? Lower? Right there? Upper or lower? Not too much. With the knee here, a little more down. There you go. Now, most people would not be able to do something that deep. Yeah. Like your body, you were almost like full back bend, like, like chakrasana with your, hands on your feet.
Wow. That was great.
That was just one side, right? So
Yes.
now turn to the other. There you go. And we're going to prop your upper leg again. And then just like before. There we go. Right along the sacrum. I'm just going to see and test, because sometimes they will have like a rotation difference from side to side. And now, if I go up, lumbar spine, upper, all feels good? But you prefer down here, I think?
Let's see, actually, right there.
Okay. So if I stack right there, pull you open from there. And you tell me.
There it is. Right there.
Okay. Now, if I kind of hold you here, but give you a little rock, how's that? Cool. Now, if I give you a second foot, more like hip flexor in the front, or do you prefer just that? There you go. Little rock. Now, foot up or foot down?
Up.
What do you think there? Now, hand me your arm.
This is what we want people to feel.
Yeah.
Dude, this moment right here, you take that, now multiply it by 5, and they're in the same room.
Yes.
Because they're like, no, but it's like massage. They got to be private. And I'm like, she's clothed. Why?
Got clothes on.
Why?
Exactly.
Right there.
I gotta complicate shit.
Is that too much? There we go.
It's happening. People. All these noises.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, so I'm gonna just scoot that out of the way since it was in the way. Let me see this arm. There we go. Grab hold. There you go. Now, the gentle version, maybe you got somebody new. They're doing a twisting pose. You come over in your yoga class and do this. And they go, wait, but they can't touch. I'm like, they can't touch people? Jesus Christ. Who owns touch? And who's fucking licensing it? Do we have to have licenses to touch people now? Like, Jesus. Anyway. So, for some people, that's enough. And they go, where do you feel that? More low back. There you go. Begin breath for me. And exhale.
Oh yeah, now the armpit.
Now, this way or to the back.
Ooh, ooh.
Too much?
No, that's like wow, sweet spot. It would be blissed out, man. Like, what did you just do to me? Like,
Well, if it makes you feeling better, the massage community is the primary people I work with right now.
Yeah.
And they go, we don't understand, this isn't massage. And I go, okay. And they go to the yoga community and do stuff, and they go, we don't understand, this isn't yoga. And I go, fine, it's next level pain relief. And they go, what's that? And I'm like, beginner's mind.
are you right? Because
Ah, beginner's mind. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. Do you ever watch the original Star Wars?
I honestly like dabbled in time to time because
Yeah.
it's just the yeah.
Because I'll go back and watch Yoda, and when he finally gets to Dagobah,
Yeah.
Yoda's like a little trickster. He's like digging. He's like,
His younger self,
he's like
right?
eating snacks, like digging through his shit, like he's
Yes,
because he
was
doesn't know
very
because he
ruthless. I was
doesn't know he's the teacher yet, and he's just like,
like, yes, that is correct. I was like, what is up with his character? Oh, that's the beginning. Okay. Yeah.
The challenge was, to me, I don't think I created anything new at all. Like, it's just an extrapolation from yoga, Thai massage, and like pain science.
Exactly.
But when I combined them and said, make it better for a Western audience, everybody just went, but in other words, yoga and massage are two separate tribes. And then not only are they tribes, but there's this arbitrary distinction about licensure. So these tribes don't mix as easily. So it's like, well, who is this for? And I go, the people who want to be set free. And they go, what? You're a
What? Why is that so hard? No, whoa, don't you think that's what you're doing? Isn't that what you're doing in the first place? Now we're just merging.
And the other piece is this. All I'm doing is like pressing in your gluteals.
Exactly.
But what does it do to your lumbar spine? Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's different when you get a chance to like feel it regularly and like the shifts in your body. But I found that I got tons more out of my yoga practice because of the Thai massage. And I got more out of my Thai massage because of my yoga practice, because I understood like mobility and like muscle tension.
They
You know.
compliment. Hello.
There you go.
Yes, I love that. I mean, I understand. They work together. Oh yeah, they are yes time.
Yeah. And the folks who want to twist, like, and you're not quite sure, like I'll usually start them with something like this, because they don't think of it as a twist, but it's like it's just working the gluteals and the hips, and then sort of just gently mobilizing the lumbar spine.
And it's great on us as the giver. We're just like hanging in.
Once I tell students that sometimes they might develop tight calves. That's the physical downside of what I teach, because it's like I do a lot of this, so my
You're gonna
calves
look at those calves.
could be
Look at
tight.
that.
It'd be
Yeah.
very pasty white. You have much more melon than I do, but strong calves.
Mhm.
Then if I'm trying for upper body and I just want something more gentle, then I'll usually just do this. It's almost like shoulder to opposite hip. And then do you need a little bit more? The wrist feels better. So I'll pull them over and then do like a little hand work. How's that?
Right. It didn't even look like it's popping on the outside. Dead.
They'll go, I don't understand. This isn't massage. I'm like, what is massage? They're like, I don't understand. This isn't yoga. I'm like, what is yoga? What is next level pain relief?
That's the T-shirt you gotta
It's
put.
a state
What
of
is yoga?
ultimate
What is
freedom,
ultimate
beyond conceptual boundaries.
freedom.
It's a
That t-shirt.
state of unitary consciousness.
Yes. Yes. Massage plus yoga equals so unconscious.
Now, what do you think? Now that I've done that,
Yes.
do you feel like it's more restricted in your upper back or lower? Lower. Okay. Then I'm going to continue to accentuate that just by working your legs and hips.
Okay.
But then when I bring you over, like opposite shoulder or more continue over?
Now-
At what point does that feel better? You got to pop in the hip. I felt that.
Mhm.
So is it more like the full twist here?
This feels great.
Okay. Or do you want me to just generally be towards the opposite shoulder, more like gluteal? Gluteal? Okay. So we're going to try this out. I'm going to bring you up here. How's that? Okay. Is it too much on your hips or glutes right here? So right there.
I mean, at least I'm not doing karaoke. Now, that would be hard.
I could tell they got a little annoyed, but I was just like,
Oh yeah, they were annoyed.
I'm just like, it's Austin. I just,
It's Austin. Welcome.
Who got annoyed?
I heard squirrel be mine.
Oh.
Not like they were like annoyed. They were, I mean, it's just like we're trying to do class, and they're like, I mean, it was really blasting earlier though. like,
How long has this been going on?
for hours.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty crazy. It was like they were pushing the limits for the base. There's also no one here yet, and
now, more like pressure in the gluteals, or is it more like knee to opposite shoulder? There we go, right there. Now, what if I give you that with some hamstring stretch? There you go. Now from there, more pressure into the IT bands, like more to the shoulder or more to the midline. Right there.
Ooh, yeah.
Hamstring or gluteal? Threw that over there. It's just my kneecap shifting. But gets you to there. Is it too much on your quad? You're fine.
Oh, that's this. This is fun. Yes.
Now, both feet on the quad.
Yes.
Is that too sharp right there?
No.
Now, does this need to go further up?
There's, I mean, I'm feeling it for sure. That feels
It's okay right there. What about more serratus right there?
Hi, serrated. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Oh, yeah. Yep, I feel you. That's going up to my Whoa! Did I just roll over your toes?
It's just the way I've got my foot shaped. Like the thing is,
Oh, you got it that
you're way more like mobile than most clients. So it's like it allows me to do things I
Are you
can't.
having fun with me? My body? I'm like, yeah.
Well, you also respond well. So it's like if you were responding in a way that's like too much, then I change it. But might be a quinceañera.
At least one
They
15-year-old.
looked like they were kids to me.
That's for adults.
Oh. So knee to opposite shoulder, opposite side, or is it a little more over?
Into the shoulder. I find it fascinating how our bodies show us, like every person shows their story. Every body gives us.
Yeah, I know for you this is just feels nice, but if anybody else saw this, they're like, I can't do that. Like there.
Like meaning that they can't get to this position.
True. Yeah, too tight.
You need more here or good?
This is good.
Okay. Now what happens if you straighten your leg?
Yeah.
There you go. Too much? And the cool thing is if I can get my feet in the right position, I can usually hook so it almost like lifts you off the ground when I pull you over. As long as I don't. There we go.
So the position of your feet, are they?
So it'll be different with different people. The
Oh.
problem I had before is I was like this and I felt
Yeah.
like I was too close to your groin.
Yeah.
So I shifted this one.
Yes. That looks.
Yeah. And serratus again. Right there. More hamstring. Right there. There we go. Now, if you can't explain to a therapist working on a mat, working one spot, how do you explain to them doing 2 or 3 things at the same time at a different rhythm while in your head you're in a state of unitary consciousness playing the drum solo from Inagata Devita?
Doing mariachi
Right.
bandit.
Yes.
And right there.
Yes.
Okay. And then from the quad, you think a little higher, or is it right there?
It's right there.
Right there? Okay. Plop. It was not the most graceful dismount.
Yeah, so I'm buying new mats now. I did it yesterday.
Tour, how'd you do it?
I was trying to vacuum my massage room, and I had the vacuum partially on, and it.
Oh.
Damn it! I'm trying to keep this shit going.
My Velcro is just starting to give.
My Velcro's
I'm about to buy new ones, but we'll need them for here, so. And you got mobile toes.
Thanks.
Too much
Stand.
calves?
Yeah.
I do that a lot to my.
Too much? Okay. If I'm on one foot? It's all right. Rolled. Party foul. Party foul.
And basically, Robert, I took the everything out of the corner, everything on that far side of my massage room wall. I took all of that shit and put it in my closet. It's all like neat. My computer desk, hold it up. So.
Too much on your low back? Do you like when I drop down lower, or is it closer to the knees? I felt your hip adjust again. Lift your shoulder for me. There you go. I got you. Take in breath and exhale. I said we do it. Almost. Booty bump. Yeah, we got it. How's that?
Thank you.
Better? You out, Kristen?
I should have moved my stuff. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I got class. I got super early in the morning.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just checking with you to see. How you doing?
That was
So the twists. Do you need like to me walk you through some of that, or?
let's do it.
Okay. So do you want the psoas stretch mainly, like in side line? Yeah. So the seated ones, I think, because of the way you're using the arms, I feel like you're getting more upper body and like shoulder blades, thoracic. Not quite as much lumbar. If I'm going for lumbar, I'll tend to put them in side lying. And that's not an absolute, it's just, the other thing is I can do things with you, like the teasing at the end, the booty bump. I can't do that with most clients. They're just not, lumbar. They're not mobile enough to be able to like allow that. Like their hips and everything are so tight that just like the basic twists, like I bring their knee to the opposite shoulder and they're like, oh my God, because they're just like, they never stretch their gluteals. Let's try just the sideline first and I'll walk you through it. See you soon.
Hey, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry blowing out early.
No
So when you're ready, yeah, I'm gonna have you work on me. So, there you go. 'Cause that way, if you do it to me, now you know what it feels like. Now I can walk you through the process. I'll have you do my left side first, because my microphone is on this side. Oh, and I'll just put this under my leg. And usually it's the top leg that I'll work. But all I did when I started was from a seated position, I'll use my left foot along the sacrum here and then get a grip on the arms so I can pull them back and open. Press something. There we go. Yep. And technically, it could be the right or left foot for this, but you just tell me what feels better. Because once you've got a grip, now you can just hold and you're just going to start to lengthen me back. It's just a deep twist. There you go. There you go.
In Chicago.
Yeah.
And then I did it both.
Where'd you go to school in Chicago?
It's called Pacific College of Oriental Medicine.
Interesting.
And they had a massage program alongside it.
Yeah.
So then I started acupuncture, and after level 2, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Let's try massage, and that was my jam. So I learned shiatsu and Reiki. And
So now with the foot, you can move the foot into my paraspinals on this left side. You may be able to have your heel down comfortably. It's just the ball pad and the lumbar. And you should be able to just like lean in, just start to feel with your foot before you add the pressure from the hand and arm. There you go. And then you may notice I've got tension more in one area or another. Whatever you put your foot on, it's going to be the focus. And it also means that I twist from your foot up.
so massage from here.
Sure.
Upper or lower?
I'm really a mix of both, I think. I don't get enough body work generally, so anytime people give to me, I'm just like, oh yes,
Just anywhere.
more of that. And is it Natalie? So you're building to the, because you've done like a twist and you're pulling on shoulder blade, but
Yes.
the psoas is where you get a hold of this leg and it'll stack and build off what we just did, because you're going to sit kind of with your guns facing this way. You'll have probably, I would maybe say your left foot in my lumbar over here above the iliac crest. And then you'd get a hold of this leg and you're holding me up forward with the foot. And then you're going to start to lengthen the leg back because you're going to stretch the psoas on this side.
So left foot in
Um,
right.
I don't know. Which one feels better to you? You could really do both.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and put the right there. And then instead of, you feel my iliac crest right there?
Yes.
Go just a little above, right there.
Right.
Now, the difference is you could put the foot all the way down to the buttocks, almost down to the gluteals. My sense of it is that when you put the foot above the iliac crest, it lengthens the psoas primarily. When you put your foot in the gluteals, it pulls more in the hip flexors,
Okay.
just as a general.
And then I'm gonna grab your foot.
This leg and foot, and then I'm trying to relax so you can do it. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it for you. There you go.
And I'm holding on to your.
Yep. And this right here, you're just sinking that guy in. You're getting that foot comfortable just to stabilize. This is where the power comes from, is
Okay.
from pulling and
And
lengthening
I'm
back.
using both my arms to pull you back.
Sure, you can.
Okay.
You could use one or two, depends on how much oomph you need and how heavy my leg is.
And do I hold or do I stay? No, like holding this down as a stabilizer, and I'm lifting and weighting.
Yep.
I feel like I want to grab a.
There you go.
Okay.
But I'm pretty mobile as well.
Okay.
Most people, students, when students work on me, they're like, "Oh my God."
They're surprised.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. So generally speaking, like let's say your body was down here. Can you move it back and around more from where you're seated? In other words, can you move your seat up towards that?
Like myself.
Yep.
Move
Scoot yourself 6 inches that way.
this way. Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Now try from there and tell me how it is.
Yes.
Because I didn't feel like you were quite at my
I
edge.
wasn't at
There we
your
go.
edge. I felt that. I need to move myself.
Once this is the hardest thing, is to teach and receive at the same time,
Correct.
because like the directions are all like weird. There you go.
Yeah.
Now give me some more pull on the leg if it's comfortable to you. There you go.
So now I'm like, yeah, this makes sense. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. To angle, to be in proportion with the section that I'm working on.
Yeah.
This gives me
The-
so, like,
The thing is, when they see it, it's like I do it naturally with you,
yeah.
because I have to change it to make it fit your body, to take you to your edge, because you're more mobile than most clients. And when students work on me, it's like most of the stuff I'm doing is the more gentle version that's not quite as deep, because their bodies just aren't quite as mobile as mine. Yeah. Awesome. And I don't tend to have like huge, like low back psoas problems,
Okay.
but you did that, and like when you put my leg down to rest, I'm just like, oh. Well, I just feel like I melt into the mat, because you hold tension, but after a while the tension's always there, so it's just your normal set. It's only after you do yoga or receive a session that you go, oh, dude, I was really tight. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. I'm gonna scoot over just a little bit, because when I look up, I can see where the. So I'm gonna just hook this off so that we don't have to worry about pressing on it. There we go.
training back in the day, did you meet Iyengar?
No.
Did you meet his daughter?
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah, never. It was interesting. Like, my original teacher was a Thai massage teacher who was like a white lady from the East Coast, but she had traveled all over Thailand, and she just sort of assimilated all the stuff and gave it to me. And then,
Met
and
someone from Thailand.
no. She was a white lady from the East Coast, but she had traveled all over Thailand
Okay.
for probably a year or two, like picking up stuff. So she just assimilated all that and gave it to me in the States. So I've never been to Thailand and I've never been to India, but I'm a Thai massage teacher and yoga instructor.
Yes.
So it's like, it's this weird perspective on the discipline because I don't feel tied to the tradition. It was more like, you know, how do you make it work? But Iyengar's work, because of his writing and the little bit of Iyengar alignment I learned over time, like had a deep, like really profound influence on like musculoskeletal anatomy. And then like the fact that Iyengar was using asana for specific conditions. Like when I read Light on Yoga and he's like, yeah, if you have shoulder problems, do these. I was like, oh my God. I was like, dude, are you serious? And then the more I saw him later with like props and stuff, because that wasn't really, I don't remember that being featured in Light on Yoga. It was like you understood it was because his art was still growing and he was dealing with Westerners who weren't flexible enough or strong enough to be able to maintain the classical poses.
Right.
Yeah.
How's this?
Good. Mostly what I feel is the pressure from the foot, but it still feels nice. Yeah. It was taking insights from my yoga practice and infusing it into my Thai massage sessions and vice versa that started to change everything. It was like I traditionally, like what I was taught as Thai massage, I kept essentially, it felt like doing what a Iyengar did. I kept breaking it down. And it was like, dude, she's pulling over the wrist, she's pulling over the elbow, she's pulling over the shoulder, she's mobilizing the shoulder blade, mobilizing the thoracic spine, mobilizing the lumbar. And then it was like, once you understood those layers, you could try to focus on the layer that was affecting the client the most. And the clients kept being like, dude, who taught you this? And I was like, a drunk driver. I was hit by a drunk driver in college. And it was like, the thing was that really messed with me was because Iyengar used the practice to put himself back together after typhoid, malaria, tuberculosis. And it's like, I'm just a whiny Westerner, you know, who got hit by a car accident by a drunk driver. Iyengar, well, what I'm saying that is, Iyengar had third world diseases. Like people in the United States aren't dying of typhoid, malaria, you know. So it was like the artistry was like in breaking it down. And then I kept, for Thai massage, it felt like breaking the rules. Like I kept changing the practice to make it fit my body and the clients. And the more I did that, it was like, this is not Thai massage. And I go, okay. So do you want me to stop doing what's effective?
Yeah.
I'm like, the tradition doesn't fit a Western culture. It's like, it was such a weird, like, cultural thing to try to discuss because I always felt like I was trying to give homage to the Thais and try to give homage to the people of India for giving us Thai massage and yoga. But it was like people kept getting frustrated that I kept changing it in various ways. Yeah.
That's how it evolves. That's how we learn. There's another layer.
There you go. Ooh. I never, like in a Iyengar's case, I know that he broke things down to the degree that he did because he taught for so long, and he was trying to almost like systematize it.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like his actual teaching was like dry or cold
Okay.
or anatomical. Like, I feel like he was aware of the fact that he was leaving behind this stuff that was more like confusing the map that he had drawn with like walking the path. Like, they couldn't tell the difference between the two. And it's like, you'll never really understand what he was codifying until you do the practice, until it's like completely embodied. Ooh.
Yeah, what I notice or what I see a lot in my yoga studios is restriction of the hips, the restriction of the, which affects the torso, which then affects, it's like this whole chain reaction. And I'm like, y'all just keep doing this. You, like, this is just the emotions that you're running through, thinking like, I'm doing this right. And I'm like, and I do my best. Like, I have a workshop next month, like breaking down the warriors, warrior 2, warrior 1. And I'm like, y'all are just like sabotaging your bodies. You didn't even know it. So we're gonna use props, various ways, getting into it.
Well, what I noticed when I taught classes, I never taught in a formal studio because I made money doing massage or, sessions.
Yeah.
So I didn't require the money from a studio. And if I taught at a studio, they were going to force me to teach vinyasa kind of like the way they wanted it.
Correct.
But when I changed it and said, okay, now we're going to do Tadasana, grab a tennis ball, it completely transformed what I was teaching, and it made everything faster. And here was the strong difference. I know that people, if they're going to have a long-term practice of yoga, have to have enough muscular strength to hold a pose.
Yes.
The problem is building strength takes repetition.
Yes.
If I can take a student and make them feel better by relaxing muscles, they'll come back again. Then we work on strength. Then we work on strength. Then we work on strength. And one of the questions I don't know that I've never had a full answer about, let's say somebody has like tightness in their quads.
Yeah.
If their quads, I'm going to say, are shortened, do they ever get full strength out of a muscle that's already contracted?
No.
So do you just work with that person to strengthen the area? Do you work with that person to strengthen the hamstrings, which are the opposite muscles, antagonist, agonist? Or do you get, in my case, I would go, no, let's help them lengthen the quadriceps first so they feel some release and relief and freedom of motion.
Yeah.
Then we work on the strengthening piece.
Okay.
But the repetition, if you take a new student and you just run them through asana, I just think they're just like, this is so hard. This is impossible. If I could give the average American who's, no offense, weak and soft, if I can make them feel better so their upper back pain goes away, they'll want to come back to yoga.
Right.
And they'll want to keep going, and they'll transition over time as things shift. But it's one of the critiques I have of like westernized yoga, the way it's taught. I just don't think any yoga studio like in Austin, they would never let me do what I do because it's like they would keep trying to box it in. Like, God damn it. And I'm just completely a nonconformist.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we wrapped.
So what I did in this case is, so step 1 foot through. There you go. Other foot through. There we go. I'm going to move this out of the way. Whoop. And then what I did is I had you lift your shoulders. I'm going to take this out so it didn't cram my neck. So kind of walk your feet almost under my shoulder blades. There you go. And you don't have to hug me in tight. Walk it
Okay.
like a little higher. There you go.
Okay.
And then now, if you take my legs and wrap them around with my knees bent. Ooh, it's been a long time since I've done this.
Okay.
There you go. Then usually what I would do is take a big in breath. And as I exhale, it's like you're bringing my feet like up and over. And then you can sit in your seat. That's where I would say, ooh, booty bump.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
it is.
There you
Because
go.
I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like, there's
Yep.
my
So
stability.
your hands are stable because you're pressing into me.
Yeah.
You're inviting a stretch for me back and open, rounding my spine. But then you're sitting back right here. There you go.
Okay, I'm looking at my. I'm so glad you got a camera. 'Cause I'm like, okay, there's my
Yep.
form. All right. Yeah. You can go more, yes.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Nice.
For some people, this is the stretch.
Mhm.
You'll do this and they're like, oh my God.
Yeah. Nice.
But like it's mobilizing both hips and then also like forward bending the lumbar spine. Yeah, there you go. Ooh.
Nice. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. We good for today?
Yes.
I have to figure out picking up all this mess.
Do you need any help?
Yeah, I'll have you help me, but let me go ahead and shut this down, and then I'll go ahead and just like walk you through it. Ooh.